So speak like you love yourself, think like you love yourself, eat like you love yourself, and care for your natural hair like you love yourself. Greetings, good people. It's Amena and I want to welcome you back to the channel if you are a regular viewer and subscriber. If you have yet to subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now so that you can stay up to date with everything that I'm offering here on the channel. Now today, I want to get into a little bit about why some of us cannot grow long hair. And I want to start off by saying that length is not everything. Like, length is not the benchmark of femininity. It is not some badge of honor. It is just something that your hair genetically is predisposed to do, and then through your own efforts of care and diet, you've been able to do a stellar job of not undermining what your genetics are providing for you, okay? So that said, you are still your most feminine and beautiful with a bald head, if that's what you choose. I have personally cut my hair down to less than an inch 3 times in my life and shaved it once. So and it still felt every bit as beautiful and sexy when I did that. But I was going through some things during those times that had to help me get to that point, right? So this is just, your hair is an extension of you. It's an extension of your body, and I want us to start getting more in touch with that, more beyond the just the cosmetics of it, right? So you are bad and beautiful even if you choose to be bald. But for those of us who don't and who want to grow our hair to long lengths, I want to share some information with you about why that may be presenting an obstacle for you. So the first reason I want to touch on that is going to be the predominant reason is your genetics, right? There is, in the cosmetic science world, a theory that your genetics determine your overall ability, length to grow hair. It also determines the thickness of your hair, like how many follicles you get on your head. Of course, the types of hairs that grow out of the scalp, whether they're fine, medium, or coarse, and of course the coil or curl pattern or lack thereof, right? So all of these things are bundled up in the genetic box. But for this conversation, we're going to focus on the length, right? So most people, this is just average based on cosmetic science, most people's hair grows about in half an inch a month. Some people are slower than average, some people are faster than average. Like, some people grow an inch a month, that's faster than average. Some people grow a quarter of an inch a month, that's slower than average. But half an inch a month is what they've determined to be the average rate of growth. There are no studies, there are no tests that can be done to predetermine what your maximum growth length is. So generally speaking, the guidance is to look around in your family, your immediate family, of course, and who has the longest hair. That's most likely your potential. However, again, this is a theory and it is flawed. And one thing that I think that is sorely missing from the conversation or the consideration about it is your diet, right? Because what also is going on in a lot of families, in addition to genetics, is the food that we're eating. And the food that we're eating is fuel for the body to grow, right? To create its health, to create its disease if we're feeding it, things that do that, but to grow. And so when it comes to nutrient distribution in the body, when that comes from food, the body consciously distributes nutrients to the hair and the nails last. So what that means is if you're not getting enough nutrients, your hair growth will be slower, it will be shorter, your nail growth will be shorter, it will be weaker, and several other bodily functions may not be functioning optimally, okay? So the diet is hugely important, and I want to say that I'm personally experienced with this, because when I was eating more foods that were lower in nutrients and not living, not only did I have several types of health problems, but my hair growth was slower. And now that I've been strictly plant-based for several years, my hair growth is faster. The hair is stronger, but I've also changed what I'm putting on my hair exclusively also. So, but I just want to talk about the hair's grown faster. So at 3 years, I was at the same length that it took me 4 to get to in the previous iteration of growing out my hair. And I've been natural since 2011, but I started cutting my hair probably about 4 years in the first time around. And so right now I'm about to be 4 years in March of growing the hair. And of course I cut my hair for shape purposes probably once a year or so, but I also trim every 1 to 2 times a year as well. Okay, so I'm consciously taking length off, but even with all of that, I reached the same length of mid-back length in 3 years on a plant-based diet than I did the previous iteration around 4 years. So, though occasionally it is a little difficult for the Indian girls to keep their long black wisps of hair under proper control, it is surprising, on the other hand, what sleekness and length the negresses can impart to their head covering by the careful and persistent combing and brushing of the kinky tresses. Diet is important, y'all. And if you want to be able to see not only the maximum gains with your hair growth, but the maximum gains in your overall health, you're definitely going to want to make a conscious effort to get as many living plant-based foods or plant foods into your diet as possible. And when I say living, I'm talking about things that have grown on the tree, grown out the ground, have not had any parents, right? No animals. And Mother Nature has provided a variety of delicious, healthy, nutrient-rich foods for us on which to thrive, not only for our hair growth, but also for our health. So genetics, theoretically, is the end-all be-all. However, I know that when you feed your body an optimal diet, you will be able to experience the height of what your genetics can do. All right, so diet. The next thing I want to talk about that may be undermining your hair growth is definitely these hair products. There are so many harmful hair products that are full of toxic ingredients that are not only breaking down the cuticle of your hair, but also poisoning your scalp. We just gonna call it what it is, okay? And so when that happens, it is impairing the optimal function of your hair follicle. And when that is impaired, then your hair cannot grow at the rate that it normally would. Hair growth can actually start to slow down to the point that follicles start dying and you start having certain types of alopecia and just hair falling out. So some of these products are so awful that they cause this, okay? So these next couple of clips are just me highlighting a couple of very popular ingredients that you're gonna find in a lot of your natural hair products, shampoos and conditioners, right? So when we think about poison in the scalp, this is pretty much where it starts and where majority of the damage is being done between these shampoos and conditioners. And so these two videos are on my channel and they're just spotlighting these two particular ingredients because they're in almost most of the things you're going to get on the shelf, and they have some serious health implications in addition to taking out your hair. So please watch them. If you want a, of course, extensive list of ingredients to avoid, definitely check out my ebook, and there'll be links to the description to get that. Yeah, links in the description to this video for you get that in so that you can protect yourself and your family from these harmful products and choose products that are truly healthy and safe for not only your hair but also your health. And it's over time. It's think about if you, let me see, what a poison. Let's talk about sugar, okay? So most of us know that, you know, in moderation, sugar is generally fine for us to use, right? Like to consume. But if we consume a lot of sugar, we'll start having excess fat on the body. We may develop certain types of diabetes. We may have certain neurotoxic type of symptoms. And of course, all of those things are going to contribute to impairing other body functions, right? And so it's the same thing when you expose yourself too much to these toxins in these hair products, which is why it's really, really, really important to be clear on the ingredients that are in the products that you're using, because over time these toxin exposures build up in your body system, in your tissues, and everything that was once functioning optimally starts to slow down, and your hair shows you symptoms by falling out and breaking off, okay? So the ingredients in these products is another reason why you may not be able to retain length, because this is also going to lead to you not only losing hair at the scalp but also in density, but also having to get more frequent trims. If your cuticle is being broken down by these products, then yeah, your ends are going to be raggedy more often and need more frequent trimming. So the products, and I don't care if they are over the counter or professional. Again, some products are definitely formulated better than others, but just because it's a salon brand does not mean it is automatically formulated better than something you can walk into the store and get. So be mindful of the ingredients in your products, because a lot of times they are definitely undermining your hair growth. All right, the next thing I want to talk about, let's see, we talked about products. Oh, styling habits, right? So some of us are styling our hair in ways that is very harmful to it, and that breaks it down. So heat styling will fall into this category. Wearing extensions improperly will fall into this category. Even certain types of chemical services like relaxers and perms, and color, if they're processed improperly, can all contribute to breaking down the hair and having it to become weak and require more frequent trimming. So these styling habits we also have to be aware of when we are wanting to keep our hair in optimal condition and maintain the maximum length, okay? I don't really feel like it's necessary to go too deep off into how each of these things can be detrimental to maintaining length, but just know that if you know that that styling habits can definitely be a cause if you are not experiencing the length that you want to experience. And sometimes you need to switch up how you're styling your hair, especially if you are one I did leave off the list was one that is a chronic like wig and weave wearer. Studies have shown that when you keep your scalp covered majority of the time, you are elevating the temperature, the natural temperature of the scalp, pushing it out of homeostasis, which also contributes to slowing down the rate of your hair growth. So you don't want to be living in these things. I personally wish they would all just shrivel up and die and leave the planet, like just poof, like and everyone had to learn how to deal with their own hair. Like that's my personal wish, but I realize that everyone is not at that place where they feel like they are just beautiful, bald, and in the skin they were born in. And so for those of y'all who need it, I wish you that type of self-love and confidence one day. But if you are the if you are wearing these wigs and these weaves chronically, then you are actually contributing to slowing down the rate of your hair growth. And I need y'all to understand that, which is why a lot of times we see the aunties and the grandmas go into these wigs and they never come out, okay? So styling habits will be another reason why you may not be able to grow long hair. So if long hair is something that you want to achieve, and you know your definition of long is whatever it is for you, right? I don't even know what the standard length in inches is for what is considered long. But if long hair is something that you want to achieve in your lifetime, just to see if it's something that you can do, then you essentially have to, one, acknowledge that the genetic thing is over here, right? But there are things that you can do, that you can consciously do to maximize what your potential, what your specific genetic predetermined length is. And like I said, that is a theory, and I know that there are all types of things in cosmetic science that have been disproved just by taking a more holistic and healthy route and approach to taking care of your scalp and hair. And so the genetic thing is over here, but you also want to make sure that you're looking at your diet and you're examining if you are getting enough fuel into your body so that it is functioning optimally and that hair and nail growth can be maximized, okay? That's one thing. Then what the other thing you want to look into, again, these styling products, make sure that they are nutritive and to your scalp and your hair, and that they are supportive of building your cuticle up and encouraging growth and not breaking it down, because it is either one or the other. There are very few what I like to call safe synthetics, and the safe ones are just neutral. So they don't assist in the hair growth and the hair strengthening, but they don't degrade it either, okay? They just are kind of there like a binder, and that's that. And there's very few of them. The majority of them are destructive in some shape and form, and you just want to avoid them. And I definitely have an extended list of all of that, of the ingredients you want to avoid in my ebook. And there'll be links to all that in the description. So the product ingredients, you want to make sure that your product ingredients are nutritive and healthy to your hair. And then your styling habits, right? So you want to make sure that if you are wearing extensions. They're not too tight, they're not too heavy, you're not leaving them in too long. That if you're using heat, that you're using it appropriately for your texture of hair, okay? Because once the hair is I'll say burned, scorched beyond a certain point, there really is no getting it back. And it's just a matter of time before it just starts breaking off and, you know, falling away. So you have to trim it, okay? So if you're using heat, you want to make sure you're using it appropriately. If you are using relaxers or perms, that is a very, or color, that's a very, very, very fine line to walk, because by their very nature, and I'm talking about the permanent color here, they have to manipulate and change bonds in the core structure of your hair that have to do with its strength in order to even become a permanent thing, okay? Whether we're talking colors, perms, or relaxers. And so that very change automatically weakens your hair from its natural state. So how much depends on how well it's processed, and then how much it's overlapped, and then how the care is going forward. So I'm a retired master cosmetologist. I would never sit up here and say that relaxers, perms, and color will automatically break your hair off. What I will say is, again, they definitely automatically weaken it, and there's a various factors that go into how good a condition you're going to be able to maintain from that point on, okay? Because I've seen some relaxed hair that's in good shape, not excellent shape, but it's in good shape, right? Because it is no longer at the strength and health that it once was when that chemical permanent structure change occurs. Same with permanently colored or bleach, lightened hair, all of that. So the styling habits we want to make sure are not undermining our ability to grow our hair to the lengths that we want to experience. And I think, you know, those three things are pretty much, well, four, right? The genetics, make sure your diet, make sure your styling products, make sure your styling habits. So those four things, you know, if you get on top of those things, get in a good groove with that, then it's just a matter of time. How long do you want to give yourself, right, to experience this growth? And so at a rate of average of half an inch a month, the average person should be growing about 6 inches of hair a year. If you're getting your hair trimmed regularly, and your hair is in good shape, you're going to let go about an inch of that a year. But again, if your regimen is on top tier shape, you may not even have to let go of an inch of what you've grown, but 6 inches a year, right? So you do the math on how long you want your hair to grow and how much time you want to give yourself to see what type of plateau you hit. That is really the only conclusive way to know like what your maximum hair growth potential is. And so for me, I've committed to a 7-year growth journey. First time around, I really didn't have like a length of time that I was gonna grow my hair. I was just like in the flow of having fun with it. I did all the coloring things. all the different haircut things. Still grew it, you know, like I said, pretty to about mid back length, but then, you know, started having a bunch of fun with it. And so now I'm coming up on my 4-year growth anniversary, starting from March of, I think, 21. Yeah, March of 21. And I've committed to 7 years of growth. And so during this period, I just want to see, you know, how long it gets. And so right now I'm firmly at mid back, maybe a few inches, like 3-4 inches away from waist, right? But during this period, I am just, you know, doing all things holistic, all things natural, and any color that I choose to put on my hair is going to be in the family of the powders, the henna, the indigo, and in different strictly plant toners for shifting the tone or the shade of how my black, my natural black appears. Right now there's nothing on it. Like, this is my natural hair. I would say it is a in between a 2 and a 3. When it's wet, it looks darker. It looks more like 1B, but dry is definitely giving 2 and 3 energy. Some people would even say 4, but that's just the lighting. It's definitely not naturally on a 4. 4 is like a dark brown. So anyway, yeah, there's nothing on it right now. My grays are popping through. Stay somewhere up in here. I don't know if y'all can see them. I can't really see good, but and I'm loving it. I enjoy it. And when I'm ready to take the extra time to deepen the color, it will be an all natural plant powder. Of course, with no acids, no strong acids that they're not necessary, like lemon juice and whatnot, because that is what causes your hair the dryness when you're using henna. It's not actually the henna or the indigo itself. All right, but yeah, I'm on my holistic leg of the journey, not only with just the hair but also in life. So 7 years, and we'll see where I end up. And I trim, like I said, a good 1 to 2 times a year. Usually it's about once. Like the last couple years, it's just been once a year. That's all I've really felt like I've needed. And that's just because of the products that I'm putting on my hair. They aren't breaking my hair down like using more synthetic products would do. So I hope that you all have found this video informative, and I hope that you are encouraged to know that whatever way you choose to go with your hair, whether you are, you know, short and bald and beautiful, or you want to, you know, keep it medium length, or you want to go on a growth journey, that you're beautiful just the way you are, just the way Creator made you, and it can't get no better than that. Okay, so the growth journey will take some time. It will take some patience, and just be here for that if you're going to do it. Because I spent some time with my hair already, and I'm already like, oh, when it get longer, it's probably going to be more time. But guess what? I, you know, have committed to that, and I'm here for it. And so I would love to hear from y'all as far as, you know, your relationship with your hair, and if you have any length goals, or if you are just going with the flow and enjoying it as it is. All right, so until the next one, I wish you all peace and an abundance of health and well-being blessings, and thank y'all for watching.